Hey everyone, it's Stitchcraft.and.sorcery, also known as Elise, not Alice. But anyway, I wanted to do a tutorial for the summer shirt that everybody loved so much that I made. That's two tones. If you haven't seen it on TikTok or Instagram, I don't have that many followers, but I wanted to do a tutorial because everybody was asking me for it. So this is the shirt. It looks like this. If you haven't seen it, you can see it on my TikTok or my Instagram. There is a tutorial already out there that I followed, but I did change the yarn and I changed the colors. She made hers out of cotton yarn. This is bamboo yarn, and just a couple of like hindsight tips and tricks that now that I've made it, I wish I would have used a bamboo cotton blend because this is hard to work with, this bamboo. It is Lion brand True Boo. It's one of my favorite yarns. It's a good quality yarn. It's just extremely hard to work with. So if you're a beginner, I wouldn't recommend this yarn. It is also not a beginner pattern, but go ahead and subscribe because I will be coming out with a beginner series. So make sure to subscribe and go follow me on TikTok and Instagram. But if you're a beginner and you're ambitious like I am and you want to try it anyway, you can. I would recommend using a cotton yarn. You can get cotton yarn from Hobby. Hobby is one of my favorite cotton yarns. I would use their rainbow line if you would want to try that, or you can try a bamboo cotton blend. That will be a little bit easier and it will be lighter. This is really heavy, which is what makes it drape so well. But I will share that it does get a little worn a little quickly. I only worn this shirt a couple of times and the bottom around where my jeans are is a little worn. So I definitely would recommend a bamboo cotton blend just for the durability of it, especially since if it's a shirt that you're going to be wearing a lot of the time. That's what I would recommend. The tools that you're going to need. What you're going to need. Again, your favorite yarn, True Boo. You're going to need about 400 grams of each color. It's about 4 balls of each, or 4 skeins of each. You're also going to need a 4mm hook, your favorite one. This is my favorite one. It is an Addy hook from Germany, I believe. I just got this one and I absolutely love it. So 4mm hook. You're going to need a measuring tape, and what you're going to need to measure is you're going to need to measure, oops, wrong side. You can do it in centimeters or inches. I like centimeters because it's a little more accurate. You're going to measure from the, that's my toolbox. From the top of your shoulder down to where your jeans hit. If you're worried that that's going to be too long or too short, I would recommend measuring where you would want your shirt to hit and then making your foundation chain about an inch shorter, because the weight of the fabric is going to make it drop a little bit and you're going to be putting a border at the bottom. So whatever your centimeters or inches, whatever you prefer, from your shoulder down to where you would like the shirt to end, times 2. So right now I'm not standing up, but I know that mine is 20 inches. So that's 40 inches because I'm measuring, like if we were doing the back and the front from the top to our jeans, it's 40 inches. And then minus 2 inches. Oh, I'm sweating. After trying it on, I realized that I didn't tell you guys how long to make it this way. So this is the end of it. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna measure from where you want it down to where, like put your arm out straight, down to where you kind of want your sleeve to hit, and then your sleeve is going to be like another 1.5 inch long, and you'll add the sleeves at the end. It's going to work up this way and this way. It goes over your shoulder and you're going to fold it, and then you'll seam up the sides. I am going to do this in 2 parts. I'm going to do a swatch today to show you the color changes and to show you the pattern. And then after I finish both of the panels, I'm going to do a second part where I put it together and block it and show you guys that whole process. But I want to do it in both parts or 2 parts so that I can get this out really quickly, and then I can make the shirt, and then we can come back together if you need to. If you don't need to, no big deal if you know how to put it together yourself. But if you don't, you can come back for part 2, and I will show you how to put it together seamlessly. All right. I like to get started by lighting an incense and setting an intention. It kind of is my ritual. It brings me a lot of grounding and a lot of balance. I really just love setting the vibe. So while I get my tools ready, if you want to pause it, go grab a candle, go grab an incense, go grab a drink, get your materials, and meet me back here. All right. Got my incense. This is a lavender incense. Great for anxiety, great for clearing energy. Candles work too. It's just set the vibe. We're also going to need a pair of scissors. So we're gonna go ahead and start with the light color because it will show better up on camera, but obviously you can start with whatever one you want. You're gonna go ahead and make your slip stitch. And I'm just doing a swatch today, but when you do this pattern, you're gonna be making multiples of 6 plus 2, and you're gonna make your foundation chain as long as you need it. So if I was making the shirt today, I would need 38 inches long, as long as it's a multiple of 6. I'm gonna go ahead and chain 24. Remember, this is not a beginner tutorial. I am not going to go through super slowly every single stitch, so you do need to know how to make a double crochet, a single crochet, a chain, and I think that's pretty much it. Plus 2, 25, 26. So even though you only need to use, or you only need to know beginning stitches, ooh, you can see the smoke coming through. Ooh, so spooky. Anyway, I'm just not gonna go very slow. So that's what my my warning is, but I am gonna come up with a beginner series, so stay tuned for that. So in the second chain from your hook, you're gonna do what I like to call a stacked single crochet, and I've only really seen this artist use it. What you're gonna do is you're gonna go into your chain, your second chain from the hook. I like to do the top loop only, just because it's bamboo. You can go through both loops. It's just gonna be a little tighter of a chain and a little less stretchy. So I'm gonna go through the top. You're gonna do a single crochet. And remember, we're doing a stacked single crochet. So after the first crochet, you go through the front loop of the first single crochet, I should say. So many S's in crochet. And then you're gonna make another single crochet. Okay, so one single crochet, another single crochet, but it's gonna be through the front loop. And then you'll go ahead, I don't have a stitch marker next to me. I did, but I don't normally use them. Go ahead and place a stitch on that chain right there. That's your first stitch of this row. It counts as a double crochet, and you're just gonna go ahead and go across and do double crochets all the way across. You can, if you want to, do a double crochet foundation chain. However, with this material, I don't recommend it just because of the material is hard to work with. For this pattern specifically, I recommend just doing a regular chain and working it the normal way. You're gonna see me split this yarn. Again, I'm just doing double crochets all the way across. Just a refresher, double crochet is yarn over, insert your hook into the loop, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. All the way across. If you want to mute me, you can. If you don't, you can listen to me talk. I will tell you a little bit about my life. For those of you who don't know me, I have struggled with mental health my whole life and have kind of devoted my life to being a mental health advocate and growing, and I've been on a healing journey for like the last 4 years. And I know it sounds really cliche, but the journey is real. Like it's something that people go through, most people go through, and I know that sometimes I can get really corny and cheesy, but it's only because I really believe in the things that have helped me get to where I'm at today. So the tools and tips and tricks that I send out for mental health don't come from a place of ignorance. They do definitely come from a place of wisdom and experience. I struggle with ADHD, and I struggle with CPTSD. If you don't know what that is, CPTSD stands for complex post-traumatic stress syndrome, and it's just like PTSD. Well, I can't say just like, but it's like PTSD, except for PTSD is from a single instance, and CPTSD it happens over time, over a lot of time. It's the same. It's like little traumas that happen over time repeatedly. So I do have symptoms of PTSD that come in pretty strong when it does happen. So anyone out there struggling, please feel free to reach out, because I am here for help. Okay, first row done. Now that we have our first row, we're going to go into the second row, which is going to be our V-stitch row. And what we're going to do is we are going to turn our work, and you're going to do a single crochet, just a single. We're not doing a stacked. Single crochet in the first stitch. You're going to chain 2 and skip 2. So 1, 2, and then you're going to do a double crochet in the next stitch. And this is the start of our V-stitch, and a V-stitch consists of a double crochet, 2 chains, so chain 2, and then another double crochet in the same stitch. You're going to chain 2, skip 2, and then, oh, not a double crochet, skip 2, and then single crochet in the next. So the pattern is single crochet, chain 2, skip 2, double crochet in the next stitch, oops, chain 2, and then double crochet in the same stitch as the previous double crochet. Again, chain 2, and you just do that all the way across. Skip 2, single crochet in the next stitch, chain 2, skip 2, double crochet in the next stitch to start your V, chain 2 in the middle of your V, and then another double crochet in the same stitch to finish your V stitch. Oops. Chain 2, and then single crochet, chain 2, 1, 2, double crochet here for a V stitch, so double crochet, 2 chains, and then another double crochet. Sorry, I know I'm moving my hand a lot. It's because my yarn is on the ground and I'm too lazy to go downstairs and get a bowl to put it in, to put it on my table. Chain 2, and then when you get to the last stitch, you just do a single crochet in that last stitch. It's a little tight. She's a little tight there. There we go. Oops. There we go. So there is your second row. And on our third row, we're gonna go ahead and our third row, we're gonna work in between these chains in the V's, okay? So for our third row, you're gonna go ahead and turn your work. We're gonna do our stacked our stacked single crochet in the first stitch. So get in the first stitch, pull up a loop. Oop, I'm not all the way, I'm in the wrong hole. Okay. The yarn sometimes gets in the way. I'm not sure why the artist chose to do it this way, but I decided to follow her. And I do kind of like the way that it looks, besides chaining and turning it, but it is a little harder. So single crochet, go through the front loop of that single crochet, and do another single crochet. My tension got a little out of whack right there. I'm gonna do that again. So I did my stacked 2 single crochets to make a double, and that's my first stitch there of the row. Now what we're gonna do, this counts as your first double crochet, we're gonna do what we call, or what the artist calls, petals inside the V-stitch. So you're gonna yarn over, insert your hook in the V-stitch and yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, and repeat that. So yarn over into the V-stitch, pull up a loop, pull through 2. Once you've done that twice, you should have 3 on your hook. You're gonna pull through all 3, and there's your first petal. And then we're gonna do that again after we chain 2. So 1, 2, chain 2, and then do it again. Into the V-stitch, and we're gonna do 3 per V-stitch. All right, I'm gonna talk us through this last one. Chain 2. You're going to yarn over into the V, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, and then yarn over again into the V, pull up a loop, yarn over. You should have 3, pull through all 3. And that's the end of your petal. Now, when you get to your third petal, you're not going to chain, you're just going to go directly into the next V. So yarn over into the next V, pull up a loop, pull through 2, yarn over into the V, pull up a loop, pull through 2, pull through all 3. First petal, chain 2. All right, into the V. My second time, into the V, left with 3 on my hook, pull through all 3, chain 2. Yarn over into the V, pull up a loop, pull through 2, yarn over into the V. I'll shut up now. All right, let's keep going. I just want to thank everyone for following my journey from the beginning. I know there's a few of you that have been just rock solid supporters, and I could not be more grateful. I have had nothing but good experience. I know the bad experiences will come, and I'm ready for them, but so far this yarn adventure of mine has been so fun and enjoyable, and the community has made it even you guys literally made it 10 times better than I could ever imagine because of how nice everybody is. Everyone's so nice. When you get to the last stitch, you're just going to do a double crochet. So anyway, thank you. I appreciate all of the love and support. All right, so there is your third row. You got your double crochets, your V-stitches row with the single crochets in between and 2 chains in between each of those. And then you got your row of petals. Now we're gonna go through and do a row of, it's gonna be a double crochet, chain, double crochet, chain, double crochet, chain, all the way across. And helpful hint, when you do your chains on this row, this upcoming row, you're going to want to do the chains loosely because the row after that is going to be a row of double crochets through every stitch. So here we go. We're going to turn our work. We're going to do the 2 stacked single crochets. So into the first stitch and a single crochet. You're going to go through the first half of that single crochet, pull up a loop and do another single crochet, and then there's your first stitch. Not this one, but this one. Okay, now we're working in between the 2 chain spaces between each petal, and then this chain space here between each cluster of petals. So this is your first double crochet. You're going to chain 1 and make it loose. Make it loose, make it loose. Yarn over, go through the first chain space and do a double crochet. Now we're gonna chain and make it loose. All right, and then you're gonna do another crochet in the next chain space. Double crochet. I think I just said crochet. That's funny. You're gonna chain 1 and remember, loose. And then you're gonna go in between the 2 clusters into that space and do another double crochet. And you're gonna do that all the way across. Chain 1, and then the next chain space, you do a double crochet. So my grandmother, when I was growing up, she really only taught me how to do a chain and double crochets. And I did that for years. I just did chains and double crochets, chains and double crochets. I made so many scarves. I don't even know what I did with all of them, but ever since then, I've really been able to develop over the years and started making garments with my best friend. Shout out to her. She's been absolutely phenomenal, and I know that I annoy her every day with my updates on how this is going, but she truly has been an amazing support. I love you. All right, getting to the end. And when we get to the end, you're just gonna do a double crochet in the last stitch after your chain. So I chained 1, and then I'm gonna do a double crochet in the last stitch. Oops. Please leave a comment if you are having any problems, because I will rush to help you. All right, there is, let's see, 1, 2, 3, your 4th row. Okay, so you should have double crochets and chains in between each one. And now what we're gonna do is we're gonna go through with this color, same color, and we're just gonna turn our work and do double crochets all the way across in every stitch. Well, let's go ahead and do that. So turn your work in that first stitch. It's a little hard to get to. You're gonna do your stacked single crochet to do your first double. Oops. Go through the first half to do your second single crochet. Okay, there's your first stitch. Now we're going to go into the chain. Hopefully I made it loose enough. I will be figuring that out shortly, the hard way probably. All right. Oops, all the way across. This True this skein specifically does not feel like the other ones. It feels a little rougher. It's kind of weird. Maybe it's just because my hands are sweaty. I don't know. It just feels different. You guys, I spent like 3 hours yesterday setting up my Shopify. It was intense. But it's exciting. I am going to start blogging and start putting out free patterns. I eventually want to do lessons or Q&A sessions. I think that would be fun. My biggest dream is to have my own yarn store, specifically in Asheville, North Carolina. Shout out Asheville. I don't know what it is about Asheville. It just is calling me, and I feel like I belong there. So I'm hoping that once my kids are grown and I'm in, like, you know, I'm actually a grandma crocheting, I think that I'll be a grandma crocheting in North Carolina with my own yarn store and classes. That's my dream. Been my dream for a long time. I've just never really had the time to pursue it until now. And I'm very grateful that I chose to. Crochet to me is not just about, you know, keeping my hands busy. It brings me so much joy, and I can totally feel the love when I'm engaging with the community and crocheting. Oh, this is a tough, I did this chain too tight. I feel very close to my grandmother. Her and I had a very complicated relationship. I think we were just too similar, and it was too big of an age gap. Obviously she raised me, so I started living with her when I was 2 years old, and, you know, through my teenage years, well, and through my childhood, like, she was older. She had very specific views that I didn't quite align with, and, you know, so it goes. But I think that if she were alive today, because we are so similar and because I've grown so much and I'm not a teenager anymore, it's hard to say because she died when I was 18, so I'm not sure, but I do feel her from time to time around, and I think that she is spearheading this whole business of mine. She's the one giving me the energy and behind all of these ideas that I have for my clothes that I want to design, for the videos that I want to put out, and I think we would be friends today. I hope we would be friends today. I didn't think we would be when I was younger. I know that what she did out of love, but man, she was a tough woman. My family, my cousins and I call her gangster, because she was tough. All right, almost done here with this row of double crochets. Oops. All right. Last one. Now that we're on the last one, I'm going to stop right here. I'm on the last one, so I'm in the middle of my double crochet. I'm going to do the first pull through 2, but I'm going to be changing colors. So 1, 2, 3, 4, there's your 5th row. I'm going to grab my 2nd color, and I'm going to go ahead and attach it. So what I do, this is how I do it. I make sure that my tension's okay. I put this in my pinky with my ring out of the way, and I wrap my finger around it again, and so it's sitting behind it. This is now my working yarn. I pull through the last 2, and with this pattern, it's pretty hard to keep your tension okay on the last stitch. So now I'm going to turn my work, and we're doing a row of double crochets again all the way across with this new color. So you'll go into your first stitch and you'll do your single crochet stacks. So 2 single crochets, 1, go through the front half. Oops, I split it. 2, and then pull through 2. There's your first stitch, and then I just kind of tighten everything a little bit. And now we're going to do our double crochets all the way across again with this color. Ooh, see, this one feels way different. Oh well. Ooh, this one's more splitty. There's something about this color. I worked with it twice now, and I don't know why, but this mulberry color feels different from the rest of the colors. Double crochets all the way across. if you're working with a bamboo, if you're working with a true boo, grace, lend yourself grace. I might be over exaggerating a little bit, but I just know when I made that shirt that I made previously, when I did this pattern before, I was like, there were a couple of nights where I was like way over it. I was like, I'm done with this. I'm not finishing it because this yarn. But the thing is I just love how soft this yarn is. I don't know. It's a love-hate relationship. That's what I tell everyone, is me and True Boo, we love-hate each other. You know what I do like using True Boo for, which I am going to do soon, is I like using True Boo for face scrubbies because it's antibacterial, which I said before, but also for like underwear, lingerie. True Boo is a great yarn for those types of things. Sorry, I'm moving my hands a lot because I have very limited space with my toolbox right here. It's holding up my camera. Pretty soon though, I'm gonna have my own studio. Right now I'm working with what I got, but as I grow, you guys are seeing me in the beginning stages, which is why I love you so much. But as soon as I am able to, I'm gonna be making my own little studio so that I have a place to go and record. But right now it's really hard to find time to record these because I take care of my kids full time, and there's no space really in the house right now where I can set up and make a spot to continue to do these. But all in good time, all in good time. It's gonna come, and once I have that spot, definitely gonna do a beginner series and teach you all how to crochet exactly like my grandma taught me. And you know, spread the love. I'm here to support, I'm here to love, and I'm here to build community while I share this craft that I love so dearly. Oh, sorry, we're on the last stitch, so we're gonna change colors again. So you're gonna start your double crochet, pull through 2, and leave it. So there's your 6th row. I like these colors together. I didn't think I was going to, but I kind of do. Okay, making sure this is okay over here. It looks good. I'm gonna go ahead and cut this purple. I'm gonna leave some so I can weave in, and then I'm gonna attach it to the other side. Okay, put it behind in my pinky. Now it's my working yarn. I'm gonna pull through the last 2. Okay, I'm gonna hold these as I turn. Okay, now we're doing the same thing as the last row, and this is technically the first row again. So we are doing all double crochets, but in the first stitch you'll do your stacked single crochets. So 2 single crochets, go through the front. Oh, I did it too tight. Hold on. Go through the first stitch, do a single crochet. We're gonna stack them. So go through the first loop of the single crochet. They aren't split, but I'm gonna keep going. And then there's your first double crochet. And then we just do double crochets all the way across. Just so you guys know, I'm going to start doing yarn reviews if you didn't know already. I think it's really important to know which yarns to use for which projects. It definitely elevates your skill set. I remember when I was trying to get better at crochet in the last recent years, I was terrified to go into a yarn shop because there was just so many options. It was overwhelming. I didn't know what I wanted or what the different materials did. And I've spent the last, I would say 2 years, really diving deep into yarn, and with my best friend, shout out best friend again. And it's really helped me understand clothing and how it comes together and how things drape. It's just good knowledge to have. I want to work on color theory. I'm not really good with picking colors. So that's the next thing that I'm going to kind of try to focus on, but please join me for my yarn review series, or if you have a certain yarn that you have been thinking about buying but haven't bought, or you want to go into a store, a new store for the first time, or a yarn store but don't know where to look, let me know, because it's definitely an experience. It can be overwhelming, but it is always a good experience. I will say that. Like, I always meet really great people. The yarn community, the crochet knitting community is just phenomenal. I really want to go on a like knitting, or not knitting because I don't knit, but a crochet cruise. I know the yarn store next to me, or like my local yarn store, they do a knitting cruise, and I really want to join them the next time they do that. That would be so cool. All right, so we're getting to the end. Here's our last stitch. And after this row, you would continue on with your V-stitches, then your petals, and you would just repeat this block over and over again. And then when you go to do your second panel, you'll make it the same amount of chains or same amount of centimeters, and it's the same pattern, except for you would start with this color. So this color would be this block, and this color would be this stripe. So it's just inverted. So yeah, there you have it. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna take this out, and I'm actually gonna make the shirt because I do want to make it again, and maybe do a giveaway. And so once I have both panels done, I will go ahead and join you guys again for putting it together. Happy Friday.